internet connection was weak. Now I
Okay. Okay. Now you start recording. He will.
Yes, sir. I started on the cloud.
Okay. Yeah, Suresh, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So good morning, all. So my topic is search for perfect number. So first, what is a perfect number? So a positive integer n is said to be a perfect number if n is equal to the sum of all its positive divisors except n itself. So consider a number 6. The positive divisors of 6 are 1, 2, 3 and 6. And we can write 6 as the sum of 1, 2 and 3. So 6 is a perfect number since 6 is equal to the sum of all its positive divisors except 6 itself. So can anyone tell is 30 a perfect number or not?
Smart.
Yes. So what is next perfect number? So in fact 6 is the smallest perfect number and the next perfect number is 28. So the positive divisors of 28 are 1, 2, 4, 7, 14 and 28. And we can write 28 is as sum of the 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 14. So this is the second perfect number. After this, the third perfect number is 496 and the fourth perfect number is 8128. So till 14th century, these four perfect numbers are searched. So only four perfect numbers were searched, known to the ancient Greek, and this scientist named Nicodemus listed these four perfect numbers as 6, 28, 496, and 8128. So and he said they are formed in orderly fashion. So orderly fashion means one number is in units and second number is in tens, and third number is in hundreds, and fourth number is in thousands. So based on the evidence, he said nth perfect number Pn contains exactly n digit, and the even perfect numbers end alternately in 6 and 8. So these both assumptions are wrong. And the next perfect number searched is P5, that is this number, and this is the 8-digit number. So there is no perfect number of 5 digits. And the sixth perfect number is this. So P6 is the sixth perfect number, and we can see the fourth in the fifth perfect number, and in the sixth perfect number, the last digit is 6. So there is no perfect number ends with 6 and 8 as conjunction. So but so even perfect number ends with 6 and 8, but not necessarily alternately. So there is some mystical about perfect numbers. So Saint Augustine says, God created world in 6 days and rested on the 7th. So he prepared to take 6 days because the perfection of the work is symbolized by the perfect number. So, and Old Testament argued that perfection of the universe is represented by the number 28. It takes 28 days for the moon to circle the earth. So now we will see the sigma function. So what is sigma function? The sigma function is the sum of the positive divisors of n, where d is the positive divisors of n, and d runs over 1 including n itself. So for example, consider number 6, and sigma 6 is the 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6, and it is equal to 12. So sigma 6 is 12, right? And sigma 15 is the positive divisors of 15 is 1, 3, 5 and 15, and we can write the sum of these terms, and sigma 15 is 24. So how can we check is a number is perfect or not? So sigma function will help us to check whether the number is perfect or not. So sigma n minus n is the sum of all positive divisors except n, right? So we can say n is a perfect number if the sum of the positive divisors, that means sigma n minus n is equal to the n, right? So n is perfect number if sigma n is equal to 2n. So So consider, so let's say sigma 6 is the 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6, that is 12, that we can write is 2 into 6. That means sigma 6 is 2 into 6. So 6 is a perfect number, right? And sigma 28 are 1 plus 4 plus 7 plus 14 plus 28. So we can write sigma 28 is a 2 into 28. So 28 is also a perfect number. So now we will look at a proposition. Sigma mn is equal to sigma n into sigma n whenever GCD of mn is equal to 1. So what is sigma n? Sigma mn? Sigma mn is a sum of the positive divisors of mn, right? And since GCD is 1 and D divides mn, so we can write D is D1 into D2 with GCD with D1 divides m and D2 divides m with GCD D1 D2 1. So can anyone tell why this GCD of D1 D2 will be 1? Hello?
Yeah, you are audible actually. Yeah, you are audible. Yeah, someone has to respond. Yes. Okay, no one is responding. So I'll say GCD of D1, D2 equal to 1, we need to prove. Suppose GCD of D1 comma D2 is greater than 1. If it is not 1 means it is greater than 1. Right? Say some k is greater than 1. So k divides D1 and k divides D2. So k divides m comma n. So m comma n GCD greater than 1. No, that's a contradiction.
Yes, sir. So sigma mn is the sum of the positive divisors of mn, and we can write this is the sum of the d1 and d2, and this, since d1 divides m and d2 divides m, so we can write sum of the d1 divides m, d1 divides m and d2 divides m, d1 d2, and since d1 d2 are multiplicative, so we can write this is as sum of d1 into sum of d2, where d1 divides m and d2 divides n, and this is the sum of sigma m, and this is sum of sigma n, right?
Yeah, Suresh, here I want to add one point.
Yes, sir.
So why we able to separate it? Okay, not you, I am asking in general. Please think about that. Why we are able to separate here the sum here? Are you able to see my cursor? No, right? No.
Yes, sir.
My cursor also you can see. No, your
No,
cursor. Yeah, you put cursor here and then here. Yeah. So why if these two are equal, right? So that how can somebody comment on that? Multiplication and all is one thing. We can multiply this and I will get that. That is one way to look into that. Correct. But is there any other way to say?
Just standard factorization, right? Or you can say.
Yeah. So if you multiply this, I'll get this. That way we can see. Answer is correct. We are able to see it. But is there any other way to tell? That is my point. Okay. What is that I want to say is that first summation related to divisors of m only. Okay. So when that summation, then whatever you take one, for example, you take D1. Now it once goes inside. So only D2 is changing there. So D1 is common. So I can take it outside. Like that I'm saying. Is it okay?
yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Bye.
So sigma mn is equal to sigma m into sigma n when the GCD of mn is 1. So now we will look at one theorem. So if n is the factorized, if n is p1 raised to alpha n, p2 raised to alpha n, up to pk raised to alpha k is a factorization of n into primes, then sigma n is the product of pi raised to alpha I plus 1 upon pi minus 1. So we will prove this theorem. So the only positive divisors of pi raised to alpha I are 1, pi up to pi raised to alpha I.
Suresh, we completed this actually in the class.
Yes, sir. We completed, but
Okay, see, but instead you do something else, okay?
yes, sir.
What is that I want to say? Go back to the previous one. So you can annotate, you can see, but relax first, okay? You are doing very good. Very good. Don't worry, relax. Okay, what is that I want to say? There is a annotate. You have a pen or something with you? No, right?
No, sir.
Okay, then no problem. What is that I want to say? Okay, then cool. Look at this way. Let us take 100.
Okay.
100 is equal to what?
So 100 is 2 raised to
100 is equal.
2 raised to 2 and 5 raised to 2.
Very good. 2 raised to 2 and 5 raised to 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. 2 power 2 and 5 power 2. Okay, so now put that aside. Okay, now I am asking a question. What is the question? So 2 power 2 is there. So I write now 1 plus 2 plus 2 square.
Yes, sir.
One in brackets. In bracket में inside क्या है? 1 plus 2 plus 2 square.
Yes.
Okay, multiplied with in another bracket में क्या है? 1 plus 5 plus
5 square.
right? Okay.
Yes.
You are telling that p power k factors are 1 p square up to p power something, right? I'm not telling that way now. Look at carefully here. Okay.
Yes.
Now you multiply these two. What is happening? So 1 into 1, 1 into p2, 1 into p2 square, 5 square. Okay, 1 into 5, 1 into 5 square. Okay.
Okay.
So if you expand it, what is that you are going to get? How many terms are there here first? In the first sum, we have 3 terms. Now it is multiplied to another sum that also has
3 times.
so total how many terms we will get when you product it?
So 9 times.
What is 9 actually? What is 9 related to 100? I'll tell in the next class also in another Thursday, one of the Thursdays, but sorry, Friday. This again I will repeat, but today also I'm asking once you people know. On that day you can tell. Then I'm talking to with all SNU and you people. Yeah, okay, fine.
So
Tell me what is 9 actually? 9 terms are there. What is that 9?
So these 9 terms are the positive divisors of 100.
Very good, nice. See, these are exactly the divisors. Means 1 into 1 is 1. That is a divisor. 1 into 5, 1 into 5, 20, 1 into 25. Now we'll start with 2, right? So we'll get all the divisors. Now what is that you are doing? You are summing, right?
Yes.
So look at here. Number of terms is giving tau of n actually. You see the beauty there?
Yes, sir.
Number of terms after multiplying, I'll get tau of n, and entire sum is actually sigma. So at least we are actually summing all the divisors. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No. This is generally taken from somewhere, but you need to think that way also. What is actually, if I'm really expand, what happens? Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. You can leave this. You can leave this. Just tell the formula and go ahead.
Okay, sir. So formula is this: sigma n is the product of pi raised to l pi plus 1 minus pi minus 1. So now we will look at example related to this. So n is the factorization of primes. So this is 2 raised to 5 into 3 raised to 3 into 7 raised to 2 and into 11. So is a perfect number or not? So sigma n is the we can see sigma n is equal to the product of I1 to up to k pi raised to l pi plus 1 minus 1 upon pi minus 1. So first perfect number is 2. So we can write 2 raised to 6 minus 1 upon 2 minus 1. And the second perfect number is 3. Sorry, so prime number is 3. So we can write into 3 raised to 4 minus 1 upon 3 minus 1. So after solving this, we will get as first term is 63 and the second term is 40. Third term is 57 and fourth term is 12. So after we factorize in the primes, we will get 2 raised to 5 into 3 raised to 4 and into 5 into 7 into 19. So this is not equal to 2n, right? So this is not a perfect number.
Yeah.
So now if n divides n, then sigma n upon n is less than equal to sigma n upon, so sigma of capital N upon capital N. So where equality holds only if n equal to n. So we will prove this lemma.
No, do not prove. Go back.
Yes, sir.
See, that is the thing. So proof is again, once you give the proof, then it is accountant job. Just verifying. Let we think actually why that is happening. Okay. For that you ask several questions. What are the questions? Okay. So I am asking you, means I am asking everyone, but I am one point of contact has to be said there. So I am talking to you. What is the relation between sigma small n into n?
So sigma small n is less than equal to sigma of capital N, because n divides.
No, listen carefully. I'm not talking about two numbers. I'm talking about only one number, small n.
Okay.
Listen question carefully. What is the relation between sigma n and n only? Only one number, one small n is there. I'm not talking about capital N at all. Only one n पे concentrate करते हैं. Okay. What do you know about sigma n and n? Any one of you first?
Sigma of n is 2 times n.
No, that is okay. What is the relation between sigma n and n? One is the definition. Sigma n is exactly some of all the divisors of n. That is okay. But do you say something? So this you think along with me. Here the symbol is less than or equal to is there, right? That the symbol is less than or equal to is there. So in that sense, and say something.
Can say sigma n is greater than n,
Sigma n is greater than n. Why it is greater than n?
because 1 and n will always be divisors of n.
Okay.
So when
Now
we add them,
we add them. At least come se come sigma n value is. Can you now say sigma n is greater than or equal to what?
n plus 1.
So that also you need to see. Sigma n is greater than or equal to n plus
If
1.
n is greater than 1.
N is greater than 1. Very good. Yeah, that is also good point. So sigma n is greater than or equal to n plus 1 when n is greater than 1. Good. Sigma, otherwise sigma 1 equal to 1. 1 is the only culprit there. Okay. For what values of n sigma n equal to n?
Only 1.
Only 1. Sigma n equal to n plus 1. For what values of n sigma n equal to n plus 1?
Prime numbers.
Prime numbers. Okay. These are simple questions, but yeah. Okay. So great. So what is the value of n such that sigma n is equal to 10? I'm asking sigma is onto or not. So basically I'm asking if sigma, let us think as a map from natural numbers to natural numbers. What is the pre-image of 10? So what is the n such that sigma n is equal to 10? At least can you say, for example, sigma of n is equal to 10. What do you know about n now? Can you say upper bound for it?
Less than equal to 9.
Less than or equal to 10. Still can you further can reduce? So 9 also you know it is not a prime number. Right?
So 8.
Less than or equal to 8 also we
8.
can say. Yeah. So now, so you already know that if sigma of n is equal to 10, then I know that n cannot be larger than 8. That much we know already. Otherwise, go up to 10 also we can easily say. It is less than 10, we can easily say without any doubt, right? So I need to check up to that extent only, right? So I will compute only up to that extent. So Kanak is here, so he may tell the program for that later then in his presentation maybe. already inbuilt function. Yeah, already inbuilt function is there. So sigma 1 is 1, sigma 2 is 3. So you can check all of them, it is not 10. Okay, fine. Okay, now, okay, for whatever. So we have some discussion till now. So here in sigma n by n and sigma less than or equal to sigma capital N by n. So why, somebody can tell me why this is going to happen? Okay, and one more point here. What is sigma n by n? What is its value? Sigma of n by n. What is its value? Is it greater than 1 or not? That is my question.
It is greater than one. It is greater than one when
Why?
n is greater than one.
Why it is greater than 1? Of course, n equal to 1 case we can remove. Yeah, if it's n is greater than 1, why sigma of n by n is greater than 1?
Okay, because we know sigma n is greater than n plus 1. That's why.
By divided by n. So n by n is there, n by n is 1. Yeah, so because that sigma n is greater than 1. Okay. Right. So now, for example, sigma n, okay. I remove the last term, okay, in the sigma n, means sigma n minus n. Perfect number ke liye, what is that we need to see? Sigma n minus n is equal to n or not, right? Okay. So now instead of sigma n, let us assume that is sigma n minus n. So sigma n minus n by n, then what we can say about that number?
Sir, can you repeat the question?
Sigma n minus n by n now, not sigma n by n. Can it be 1? Is it there is a possibility that sigma n minus n by n can be 1?
For perfect number, it can be 1.
Yeah, perfect number. Exactly, that is a definition of perfect number. In that case, what is that you are getting? The term sum, that sum equal to 1 means sigma n by n, you are dividing, right? For example, my n equal to 6. So sigma n, sigma 6 minus 6 by 6. That is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 minus 6 by 6. So 6 cancelled. So 1 by 6 plus 2 by 6 plus 3 by 6. Right? What are those? Sum equal to, now it become 1. So what do you know about these numbers? 1, 1 by 2 by 6 and 3 by 6. It is a probability distribution, right? Okay, fine, no problem. Okay, so are there any numbers that sigma n minus n by n greater than 1? Are there any numbers sigma n by n is greater than 1? Okay, one more time think about sigma n is larger for what values? Sigma is small for what values? Sigma function is large for which values and small for which values?
The smallest for primes.
Small for primes, very good. And large for, of course, you can tell philosophically what is happening. With that, you can tell why it is small for prime numbers. What is happening in the prime numbers? What is sigma function?
In that case, it will just be n plus 1.
Okay.
That is the least value sigma can take anyway. So
Yeah, fine. That's okay. So sigma n is larger for when it become larger, when it become smaller. Okay. And sigma function is some of the factors. So you say something. I'm not asking exact answer here. Yeah, someone can comment. Yeah, Amya, you can go ahead.
I was thinking that prime numbers have fewer divisors.
See,
So-
fewer divisors, more and more divisors it has. Okay, then sigma n by n becomes larger and larger. Okay, now, yeah, fine, good. For 12, what happens? How many divisors are there for 12? So many divisors are there for 12. Okay, even you remove 12 from that. Yeah, so that's why people are called abundant numbers and deficient numbers and like that. Okay. So these are the questions we need to have. So later, because why I'm asking here now, it is little bit quite opposite to next class pe Friday. Tomorrow's class may Kathy will tell something. Okay. That is related to some known function u. Their divisors are less, then it becomes larger. There is another function, you know, but no need to tell now. So the people are now discussed that this is become larger when more prime factors. That is become smaller when more factors. Multiply and check like that. Okay. Yeah, it is the right time to think about. Yeah, fine. We'll discuss them later. Now come to this problem. Somebody can prove it. Sigma n by n is less than or equal to sigma capital N by n. Take some examples that will help you. For example, take 5 and 6. What is happening? Also 4 and 5. Instead of 4, maybe better that bigger numbers. Yeah, 9, 10, 11 लेते तो अच्छा हो. Suresh,
Yes, sir.
you do not go to next slide,
Okay, sir.
but here itself you need to tell. You tell us that why this is. Intuitively tell something.
So consider number 2, that is 3 and 6,
Hmm.
right? So sigma 3 is 1 plus 3, right?
No, 1 minute, 1 minute. Somebody may chatted actually. So, okay, no problem. Okay. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah. So see here you are giving the 10 divides n, right?
Yes, sir. So I consider those numbers like 3.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I made a mistake earlier. Okay. So you are telling the 10 divides n.
Yes, sir.
So now again, people come up. 1 minute. Let them give time. Yeah, please come up here. For example, 3 and 6, compare and tell. Okay, Suresh, go ahead.
So sigma 3 is the positive divisors of 3. So sigma 3 is 1 and 3. So 1 plus 3. Sigma 3 is 1 plus 3, that is 4. So sigma n by n is 4 by 3, right? And n is capital, capital N is 6. So sigma 6 is 12. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6. So sigma 6 is 12. And it's divided by 6. So 12 by 6 is 2. So 4 by 3 is less than equal to 2. Okay. Sir, can I go ahead?
No, go ahead, but without going to the next slide, give the proof here itself.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Hmm.
So I consider D is the divisors of positive divisors of n. So this means D divides is capital N, right? And so D divides capital N, and then there exists a positive integer, say C. That means K into D is equal, C into D is equal to N, capital N, sorry. And that means C will be N by D, right? And N by D divides capital N. So this is the equivalent to say if D divides N, then N by D divides capital N by D divides capital N. So
Right.
so sigma of capital N is the sum of the positive divisors of N, right? And we can replace D by N by D, capital N by D, right? So N is not varying in the sum, so we can take out N outside the sum, right? So that will become the N into sum of the positive divisors of 1 by D.
Okay, see, that's fine. You give some hints. Now let us see other people can come up with some other approach or same approach. Or so to show this is it's less than or equal to. So for example, can I multiply both sides with capital N? Still less than or equal to holds. In particular, I am saying that can I multiply both sides with the capital N into small n? Still equality holds or not? Okay. Then afterwards, so here I am multiplying n into capital N into sigma n. Here less than or equal to small n into sigma n. Is it true? That is also
Yes.
one way to see, right? Yeah. So why that is true? Capital N into sigma n is less than or equal to small n into sigma n. Why that is true? Okay, Suresh, you can go ahead now.
So
You can show next slides also. Now we can go fast here.
So if D divides N, then we can say K such that K into D is equal to capital N. So this is equivalent to say N by D divides capital N. So so sigma N is the sum of the positive divisors of N. So we can replace D by N by D. And this N is not varying in the sum, so we can take out N outside the sum, and this is will become sum of the positive divisors of 1 by D. So if N is proper divisors of N, then sigma N upon, we can divide by N, sigma N upon N is equal to sum of the divisors of 1 by D. And I consider the D dash is the sum of the divisors of small n, and this will less than, so sigma N upon N, so this sum of the 1 by D is greater than 1 upon D dash, because N is less than sigma, N, small n is the less than capital N. So divisors, sum of the divisors will be less than of 1 by D. So this will become sigma N by N. So sigma N by capital N is greater than sigma of small n by N.
So fine, but Suresh,
Yes, sir.
to tell this theorem, how to tell to students, okay? So you need to tell what is sigma n by n. I asked actually, but even then it does not came. But even then, see, I asked sigma 6 by 6. You remember?
Yes, sir.
Sigma 6 by 6 contains 1 by 1 plus 1 by 2 plus, 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6 plus 2 by 6 plus 3 by 6 plus
6 by 6.
6 by 6. But now in the numerators we have divisors.
Yes.
So if you have divisors, then they will get cancelled, right?
Yes, sir.
So then you can ask what is sigma n by n actually. Sigma n by n is exactly what? Can you tell me now?
Is capital N.
No. Sigma n by n. Okay, sigma k by k is how much? What is sigma k by k? Yeah, any one of you?
So we can say it's the sum of reciprocals of divisors of K.
Yeah, that is the thing. You see that, are you following, Suresh?
Yes, sir.
That we need to first put that. Then it result becomes easy. See, Why unnecessarily all these things? Can you go back? I'm telling you, it is not my goal that subject also one thing. See, later you become teacher somewhere or go to interviews or whatever. So do not follow. See, this proof you are taken somewhere, but you need to have your own original internal thinking. Okay, now go back again further. Right here. So what is sigma n by n? This first part, sigma small n by n. That is summation. Suresh,
Yes, sir.
sigma small of n by n is what?
It is the sum of the divisors of n.
No, sigma n by n. Okay, you tell me what is sigma sigma k sigma 5 by 5.
5 by 5 is 1 by 5 plus 5 by 5.
But 5 by 5 is again 5 by 5 means 1 only, right? 1 by 1.
Yes, sir.
1 by 1 and 1 by 5 finally.
Yes, sir.
Sigma 5 by 5 is equal to 1 by 1 plus 1 by 5. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what is sigma 4 by 4?
Sigma 4 by 4 is 1 by 4 plus 2 by 4 plus 4 by 4. That is 1 by 1.
No. 4 by 2 by 4 is also what?
Is 1 by 2.
Now tell me again, what is sigma 4 by 4? Final answers बताओ. Cancel करने के बाद.
So sigma 4 by 4 is 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4.
Now are you able to see sigma 4 by 4 is equal to 1 by 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4.
Yes, sir.
Now I am asking what is sigma k by k?
So sigma k by k is 1 by k.
Okay, no problem. We will do one more exercise. What is sigma 6 by 6?
Sigma 6 by 6 is 1 by 6 plus
Hmm.
1 by 3 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 1.
No, go in a reverse direction. So 1 by 1 plus 1 by 2, 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 6, right?
Yes, sir.
Now again I'm asking what is sigma k by k?
So sigma k by k is 1 by k plus 2 by k plus 3 by k plus 6 by k.
No. You are now little worried and sigma 6 by 6 में you have 1 by 1, 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 6. Denominator में क्या है?
Denominator 6.
No. 1 by 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 6 में सारी की सारी में एक टर्म पे 1 by 1 में डिनोमिनेटर क्या है? डिनोमिनेटर न्यूमरेटर क्या है?
Numerator is all 1.
एवरीवेयर 1. So न्यूमरेटर एवरीवेयर 1. डिनोमिनेटर में क्या है?
6, 3, 2 and 1.
What are 1, 6, 1, 2, 3, 6? इस तरफ से जाना, उस तरफ से मत जाना.
Okay.
You can write the either way, right? A plus B also equal to B plus A.
Yes, sir.
Now what is sigma 6 by 6? 1 by 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 6. Agreed or not agreed?
Yes, sir. Agreed.
Now what is sigma 6 by 6? Again I'm asking. Can you write in summation now? Sigma 6 by 6 equal to? समेशन नोटेशन में लिखना है 1 by 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 6 उनको समेशन नोटेशन में लिखना है. Summation
that is 1 by d.
So अभी बताओ sigma n by n is equal to summation.
Sigma n by n is the summation of 1 by d that and d divides n.
वही मैं पूछ रहा हूँ, अभी तक वही पूछ रहा हूँ. Sigma k by k is how much?
It is 1 by d that k divides n. Sorry,
K.
sorry, k divides n.
No, you are again.
1 by sigma summation of 1 by k.
Go slow. See, I do not worry about your friends and all, you and me. Okay. If I able to change you little bit, I'm happy. Okay. I'm not care about anyone. I'm only you. What is sigma k by k?
Sigma k by k is the sum of 1 by d where d divides k.
Very good. See, very simple. Good. Okay, that is the thing. So now what is sigma n by n? Now, so look at in this equation, sigma n by n and sigma capital N by n.
Okay.
What is sigma n? इस तरफ वाला sigma small n by n में क्या आएगा? What is that summation? How do you write that?
So that is sum of 1 by d dash. Suppose d dash is the divisors of small n. So that is 1 by d dash where d dash divides small
D
n.
dash, no, see, again you are looking the proof. Okay, don't worry about proof.
Okay.
Do not tell D dash and D and all. Just tell in D only. Yeah, tell me what is sigma n by n.
So that is 1 by d where d divides small n.
Very good. Okay. So what is small d?
This small d is the positive divisors of small n.
Small n. Okay. Right.
Yes.
Okay. So now in this summation, we have 1 plus 1 by some d1, 1 by d2, and these are all divisors of small n. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Now what is sigma capital N by n? Again,
That
it is like that only, but now the thing is that again 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 by plus sum will come, but now the divisors are which divisors? Divisors of which number?
capital N.
Capital N. So which number has more divisors?
Capital N.
Now which one is larger now?
It is
So
capital
क्यों? So now that's okay, you understood, but you are not fully followed. So one of you can, instead of me, someone can come up and help. You say, you understand. Mehak, can you say something? Whatever I'm saying. Hello, Mehak. Hello, Mehak. You are not audible. Am I not audible to you? Okay. Achila? So they are assuming that we only two talking, Suresh. Huh?
Yes, sir.
They are not responding.
Sir,
Yes.
yes, sir. So I can share my thoughts.
Yeah, please.
So the idea is that the sigma n by n, we can write it in this way, that sigma n by n is the sum of 1 by d, such that these d's are the positive divisors of n. And now that capital N is greater than small n, so obviously capital N has more positive divisors than small n. So
Yeah.
so the left side sum, I mean, this more as small n. So obviously the sum of sigma n by n, matlab sigma small n by small n, those the quantities, the number of quantities in that sum is less than the right side, the number of quantities in less than sum. So hence the proof, I think, in this scenario.
That is okay. Okay, let us take 6 and 12. Okay. What is sigma 6 by 6?
It is, 1 by, it's 2x.
No. Please help me. Sigma 6 by 6 equal to what? 1 by 1 plus?
1 by 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 6,
Okay, thank you. What is sigma 12 by 12?
which will be 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 6 plus 1 by 12.
Okay. 1 by 1, 1 by 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 6 plus 1 by 12.
Yeah.
If you look at these two, which is larger?
The second one, because this has
Why? It has?
more, more numbers to add. So that's why it is. It's just, I mean, those, sorry, I'll correct myself.
Hmm.
Okay. It can be said in this way that
Hmm.
the second one, because it can be said that it is,
Hmm.
it has 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by
Hmm.
6. Those
Hmm.
all are from, which are from sigma small 6 by 6.
They are already there and their extra terms are coming. What are extra terms are coming?
That's 1 by 12 plus 1 by 4.
Yeah. See, that is sufficient, right?
Yeah, that's
So, see, you collect the proof from some place, then you will not realize what is going on. And later, after some stage, you will forget that proof also. Okay, Suresh, are you following?
Yes.
See, now are clear sigma 6 by 6 and sigma 12 by 12.
Yes, sir.
Sigma 6 by 6 and sigma 12 by 12 pick terms in sigma 12 by 12 also, the terms in sigma 6 by 6 are there.
Yes, sir.
Few extra terms are there. What are the extra terms?
That is 1 by 12.
But now you need to tell in abstract way. How do you tell that sigma n by n is less than or equal to sigma capital N by n? Can you tell me in abstract way now? There is at least one term which is here, which is not there in sigma n by n.
So that is 1 by capital N.
Very good. Now see why I asked this question. Now you are realized or not. Now you are understood. Now completely you understood. Now I am happy. What are other terms? Can you predict few more terms which are in sigma n by n but not in sigma small n by n? What are the terms which are in sigma capital sigma n by n but not in sigma small n by n?
Not in the sigma small n by n, right? That is 1 by capital N.
That is one term. That is good. Can you give me one more? ट्वेल्व में देख लो 12 में क्या हुआ है What is extra term we got?
In 12, extra term is 1 by 4 and 1 by 12.
But 1 by 12 already आपने बता दिया.
Yes, sir. That is my next, and 1 by 4 is not there.
1 by 4 extra there, right? Why
Yes.
1 by 4 extra? Because 4 doesn't divide in 12, but 4 does not divide 6, right?
Yes, sir.
But why you are unable to tell 1 by 4? Because now let us look at 3 and 6, 3 and 9.
Yes, sir.
Sigma 3 by 3 and sigma 9 by 9.
Yes, sir.
उसमें extra term क्या है?
So term is 1 by 9.
That is the only term now.
Yes, sir.
Are you following that?
Yes, sir.
So sometimes that is the only term. So when it is the only term, extra term is that is the only. Yeah, any one of you?
Sir, can you repeat?
I am telling sigma n by n and capital sigma n by n. So he told that capital sigma n by n पे एक term तो extra होगा जरूर. What is that? 1 by capital N. वो इस पे नहीं है लेकिन उस पे है. But now that is the only term. Now no more, no less. Then what can you say about small n and capital N? मैं एक एग्जांपल दे दिया है पहले.
Capital N is 2 times small n.
No, that is 6 and 12 में है ना, 6 and 12. So 12 equal to 2 times 6. But I have 1 by 4 extra term. 4 is not dividing 6, but 4 it is dividing 12.
Yes, sir.
So Kathy, yeah, Amia, go ahead.
Sir, I'm
Y-
thinking.
No. So I told one example. Do you remember which example I told? Okay, I told that 3 and 9. See, what is sigma 3 by 3? Little fast, Amia.
4
Already
by 3.
plot. No, please, not like that.
Okay, 1 plus 1 by 3.
1 by 1 plus 1 by 3. Please tell that also. I am telling the reasons also. 1 by 1. 1 is a divisor of 3. I need that. 1 by 1 plus 1 by 3. What is sigma 9 by 9?
1 plus 1 by 3. 1 by 1
1
plus
by
1 by 3 plus 1 by 9.
what is extra term in the
1 by
sigma
9.
9? 1 by 9 extra. So that is the only term extra now. So sigma 6 by 6 and sigma 12 by 12 pay. Two terms are extra, 1 by 4 and 1 by 12. Are you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now I am telling that what are the numbers n and small n and capital N, such that only 1 by n is the only extra. Now question is clear or not clear? I mean, that is
Yes, sir.
sufficient.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Achila, is the question clear?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Shubhamay, yeah.
seems like capital N should be n square, small n square.
You are very very near actually, very near, but you made a mistake, small mistake. For example, I take 2 and 4, उससे check करेंगे, वही पे होगा. So let us take 6 and 6 square. Okay, check करते हैं 6 में क्या होगा. So you know 1 by 6 sigma 6 by 6 में तो क्या होगा आपको पता है. What are extra terms in sigma 36 by 36 which are not in sigma 6 by 6?
Oh, वहाँ पे I mean there we get 1 by 12 actually.
Very good. At least you are very to the point, and you are immediately told 1 by 12 also. Good. Suresh, do you got answer?
Yes, sir, I got answer, but how to explain, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, but which one? Answer for which one?
For 4 and 12. No, sorry, for
No. My question is
6 and
that
12.
no. My question is that what is the small n and capital such that the sigma n by 10 contains only one extra term, that is 1 by n.
Yes, sir.
For that you got the answer.
I got the answer, but how to explain, I don't know.
No, you got answer means explanation बाद में. First tell me the answer. For which values of n and n? At least tell me few values where it is true. Only 1 by n is extra term. I told 3 and 9. Can you tell me few more?
So few more is
You are not started thinking. You are not thinking at all. What is the question I asked is that sigma n and sigma small n by n and sigma capital N by n पे
8 and 16.
8 and 16 पे भी 8 and 16 पे होगा ऐसा.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 8 and 16 पे 1 by yes, 1 by 16 extra. Very good. 1 by 16 extra. So
So if small, so if small, so capital N is equal to small 2n, small 2 is 2n. If that is thing, then we can say there is one more extra term. A small, sorry, capital N is equal to a small 2n.
But 12 and 6 is then a counter example, right? Even for 12 we have 2 into 6.
So capital N should be square मतलब
Yeah, though, okay, Suresh, now you are thinking good. 8 and 16 is a good example, wonderful example you brought. Good, that is okay. Do not worry about whether you are not getting or something. You are thinking or not, that's more important. Okay, आराम से करते हैं. So don't worry. Subject हम बाद में भी learn कर सकते हैं. हाँ? So my goal is that my intention today is that not proving something. So I am saying I want to tell you that in future also, first you try to prove on yourself. So look at this, write down and see can I prove it or not. Then look at the proof, somebody else proof. Okay, fine, that is okay. Okay, now what about 2 and 4? जल्दी जल्दी हम जाएंगे.
Sir, एक second
हाँ.
में. Sir, as I
हाँ.
sir, I can see that for sigma for number 9 and 27, we can also find that only 1 by 27 is remaining.
Very good. Yeah. So 8 and 16 also they are similar.
So
9 and 27 are similar. Yeah.
like they have the prime factor, which is 3. It's kind of 3 to the power m and 3 to the power n in this kind of
So
kind of form.
that means single prime or something.
Single prime, it's looking like, yeah, kind of 3 9. I mean,
Okay, we'll go slow again. Is it p square
Sir,
will work?
I'm thinking this way. So if small n is p power m and capital N is p power m plus 1, in that case, we'll only have one extra term.
Very good. Yeah. So can you give me some infinite sequence now? First simplest infinite sequence. Amya.
Sorry?
First simplest infinite sequence like that. So only one by one.
1, 2, 4, 8, 16.
No. Capital N की बारे में बताओ. Capital and small n value बताओ. Infinite series, infinite set. Okay. What I'm expecting now, I'm telling the answer because of the time constraint. P and P square.
Okay.
You told already. I'm telling much simplest. First, everyone can see it. P is a prime number. P square. Now, what is sigma P by P? 1 by 1 plus 1 by P. What is sigma P square by P square? 1 by 1 plus 1 by P plus 1 by P square. Only 1 by P square extra. Is it okay, Suresh?
yes sir.
Okay. Yeah, great. Yeah. Now is it P square and P power 4 will work?
P square.
P is a prime number. P square and P by 4, P power 4 will work?
No, sir.
No. What is the problem there?
Because 1 by p cube will be another extra term.
1 by p cube extra term aa rahe. 1 by p cube and see 1 by p cube and 1 by p power 4. So what is Amya told is that, so take any prime p power and k is greater than or equal to 1, greater than 1, then or in general p power k minus 1 and p power k ले लो.
Yes.
That will work. That's why 8 and 16 में क्या हुआ है? Right? 8 equal to 2 cube and 16 is 2 power 4. You gave very nice example. And Subhamay Kundu got very good example again. 3 and 9 and 27. See, that came because you people are thinking and you got a good examples first. Why I'm telling example will help you now to prove it. Now, what is our conjecture now? With all these examples, what is the conjecture? Sigma capital N by N is equal to sigma small n by n plus 1 by n. If and only if.
And
Or if. No, that is okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
So n equal to p power k and small n equal to p power k minus 1. उसी जगह पे assume that already n divides n. Then sigma n by n contains only one extra term 1 by n if and only if n is p power k minus 1 and capital N is equal to p power k. We need to prove that. If it is not, then at least one extra term will come. I'm also not checked actually in my mind, but whether it's true or not, we need to check. Till now, that is the conjecture we are looking. If not, we need to prove. We have 2 primes and what happens? Two primes are dividing, then what happens? Okay, but in this proof, in this result, no need to worry. I am asking more questions here, right? Okay, great. You can go ahead now.
So now if n divides n, then divisors of so this is sigma n upon capital N, right? That we have seen in the last slide. So that is
Mhm.
sigma n by n, that is equal to 2 if n is a perfect number. So if d is the divisors of capital N, then we can equivalent to say n by capital N by d divides capital N. So if n is a perfect number, then sigma n is equal to 2n, right? And this sigma n is the sum of the positive divisors of n, that is sum of the sum of d, that is equal to 2n, and d, so we can write this is equivalent to n by d. D is equal to
See, you don't need to explain this. Everyone understood this.
yes,
See, that's what now without proof, everyone understand. Now, what is this is actually what is that you wrote here? If n is perfect, then sigma d divides n 1 by d. What is that value?
that is sigma of capital N by capital N.
The people are already thinking that. Okay, that is exactly that value. Okay, because so what is sigma 12 by 12? Is it greater than 2 or not?
Yes. 2 plus 1 by 12.
Not 2 plus 1 by 12. 1 by 2 plus 1 by 12. 1 by 4 plus 1 by 12.
Yes, 1 by 4.
2 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 12, right? See, sigma 12 by 12 and sigma 6 by 6. So we already know that sigma 12 by 12 is greater than sigma 6 by 6. Sigma 6 by 6 is 2. And sigma 12 by 12 is greater than sigma 6 by 6 by 1 by 12 and 1 by 4 extra, 2 extra terms. So what is sigma 12 by 12? Suresh. Suresh.
So sigma
Sigma
12
by 12 is equal to how much?
so 1
2
by
plus
1
2
plus
plus
1.
2 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 12.
Yes, sir.
Why 2 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 12?
So 1 by 4 plus and 1 by so 1 by 4 and 1 by 12 is the extra term.
In,
And,
so extra term in compared to sigma 6 by 6.
yes, sir.
And sigma 6 is a perfect number. Sigma 6 by 6 is 2.
Yes.
So a number is perfect if and only if sigma a number is n is perfect if and only if sigma n by n equal to
2.
right. A number is perfect number if and only if sigma n by n is equal to 2, right?
Yes, sir.
So are there numbers sigma n by n greater than 2?
If n is not perfect, then it is greater than 2.
No, not correct. That is not true. What is sigma 9 by 9?
That is not greater than 2.
So we have numbers sigma n by n is less than 1, less than 2. Is it? Can you give a number sigma n by n is less than 1? Is my question?
That is not possible.
Very good. Thank you. At least, yeah. So that is not possible. So sigma n by n lies in between.
It is greater than 1 when upper bound is.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, nice. You are thinking. Yeah, upper bound you are not clear, right? Good. But naturally we need to think. Okay, upper bound होगा नहीं होगा, है ना?
Yes, sir.
We need to think about that. Upper bound कितना हो सकता है? Sigma n by n पे. Because 12 is giving that sigma n by n is greater than 2. Yeah, but there are some. So that is the way people define all natural numbers divided into three things. What is that? Deficient, perfect, abundant. Okay, what is it? What is that I'm saying? Can you repeat? Deficient.
Efficient, perfect, and abundant.
Deficient means sigma n by n is less than 2.
Okay,
Perfect means
equal to 2.
equal to 2. Sigma n by n equal to 2. Abundant means
Greater than 2.
greater than 2. What is that abundant means actually? Okay, what is happening here? So when sigma n by n is less than 1, less than 2, sigma n by n less than 2, then what we know about the number of divisors? Number of divisors are usually less for them. See, prime के लिए देख लो.
Prime के लिए lesser.
Sigma, what is sigma n by n for primes?
It is 1 plus 1 by n.
Yeah, so 1 plus 1 by n. So 1 plus 1 by n is always less than 2.
Yes, sir.
So they are deficient number. Deficient means they are deficient with what? They are deficient with divisors. Less divisors for them. 12 has more divisors. When the divisors are more, then summations are more. 1 by 1 by 1 by many coming. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So actually there is a paper related to these things. Okay, I'll tell that later. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, now go forward.
Okay. So next is one theorem. If a raised to k minus 1 is prime with a greater than 0 and k greater than equal to 2, then a equal to 2 and k is also a prime number.
Hmm.
So we can factorize a k minus 1 is a minus 1 and so this a k minus
No.
1.
See, do not. Yeah, that's okay. We done it actually in the class.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Do not tell that way. So you a power k minus 1 factorization आपने किया है, right?
Yes, sir.
You need to stop there only and ask now questions. So what happens if a equal to 3 or more?
Yes, sir.
What happens if a equal to 3 or more? You tell me.
If a equal to 3, then a k minus 1 cannot be prime because this is the greater than 1 and this is also become 2. So this cannot, this will become composite number.
Yeah, right. So, okay. So when it is true for any number, a greater than or equal to 3.
Yes.
It is composite. So a has to be 2 only. 1 anyhow will not consider.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is sufficient. Why unnecessary all these things? Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So now what is that next you are considering?
So if a equal to 2, then k is also a prime.
No. Go slowly. A power. Here you wrote a greater than 0. So I think if I done a mistake in my notebook, then you also need to. It is a should be greater than 1.
Yes, such.
Okay. A greater than 1 लिखना है क्योंकि a greater than 0 मतलब a equal to 1 भी हो सकता है.
Yes.
If a equal to 1, then 1 power k minus 1, that is 0.
Yes.
Of course, you are saying it is a prime. So 0 is not a prime, so no problems. That is also fine. Yeah. Okay. But one point I want to tell you. So a power k minus 1 is prime. Then what is the necessary condition now?
Necessary condition, then a will become should be 2.
Yeah, that is necessary condition. Necessary means it is prime, then a has to be 2 only. That's why it is called necessary. Now the question is, it is sufficient. Okay, that is the next question, right?
Yes.
You need to ask like that. Okay. Now what about 2? I'll take a equal to 2. Now 2 power k minus 1 is prime always.
Yes, sir. 2k. Yes, sir.
2 power k minus 1 is always prime, whatever may be the k.
K should be greater than 2.
Okay, what about 2 power 4?
2 power 4, 16.
Minus 1.
K also should be prime.
That is what you need to tell that I asked actually. See, this a power k minus 1 is prime implies a has to be 2. That is clear, right?
Yes.
But now that is not sufficient. So it is called necessary condition, but not sufficient condition. Only a equal to 2, then I cannot get prime. In your life, in mathematics, necessary and sufficient condition, do aata hai. Okay, I do not know about, I am not your teacher from the previous in your life, right?
Yes. Yes.
I am teacher only first time to you in your life, okay?
Yes.
Right. Now, in this time itself, I want to help you in the what you mean by necessary and sufficient condition through this example. Okay, na?
Yes. Sir.
Okay, what is that I want to say? A power k minus 1 is prime. Then what is a necessary condition?
Necessary condition is A equal to should be must be 2 and
Must be 2,
sufficient.
right? If it is for sure it has to be 2. Otherwise, it is not a prime.
Yes.
Okay, whenever it is prime, A has to be 2. So that's why A equal to 2 is A equal to 2 is a necessary condition. If A is not 2 or A equal to 3, 4, 5 something, then it is not no longer a prime number. So it is prime automatically implies A is equal to 2. So A is equal to 2 is necessary. But only A equal to 2, then it become prime, whatever will be the K, that is not true. That means this is not sufficient now.
Yes. Sir.
That means I need to add more conditions while going this side. While coming this side, A equal to 2 is sufficient. A equal to 2 is necessary. When it's prime, automatically A has to be 2. There is no more, no less. But A is equal to 2 implies A power k minus 1 is prime? No. Still, I need to do something. Okay. What is that? K is also should be
Prime.
prime. Again, how do you prove it? Do not show the slides. Okay.
Okay. Sir.
Suppose that K is not prime.
So suppose K is composite.
So then what is A value already with you?
A is 2.
A is 2. Now A power, now K. But now K is
K is
composite.
composite.
So then what happens? 2 power, how much will be there?
That
Some
is
A into B
A into B.
or M into N. Okay. K equal to Mn.
Yes. Sir.
Okay. 2 power Mn minus 1.
Yes. Sir.
2 power M into N minus 1. Now what is that you want to show?
So we have to show K is also prime, yeah, but
No,
2 raised
no.
to
No, go slow, Suresh. You want to show that K is prime. Okay. So by the way, all of you, when I'm discussing with him, you get bored. Please cooperate with me. Okay. It is my duty, right? At least I got an opportunity in my life to discuss with Suresh. Okay. I do not want to lose this opportunity. Okay. Because of that, I'm wasting some of your time. It's okay. Because less number of students are there. Okay. I hope you cooperate with me. Okay. Look at Suresh. So A power M into N minus, so we need, now I am assuming it is prime. And also I am assuming A equal to
2.
2. Okay, let us assume, go leave this. Okay, again clean slate. Start. A equal to 2. Now what is that I have? 2 power k minus 1.
Yes, sir.
I take A equal to 2. So I have 2 power k minus 1. I want to show this is also a,
Prime.
this is prime, then this is prime, then
Then
K is prime.
Yes.
But I am assume that suppose if K is not prime, then what?
Then K is composite.
No. If K is not prime, then what is the 2 power k minus 1?
That is
Okay.
2 power Mn.
Okay. Let us go. Okay. I'll go a little easy. Now again, I'll start. I took already A equal to 2. So what is that I want to show? If 2 power k minus 1 is prime,
then K is prime.
See, in your statement now, I have then A equal to 2 and high, na? I already removed A equal to 2 मैंने remove किया इससे, हाँ?
Yes.
मैंने ये 2 यहाँ डालकर इस पे डाल दिया. Now नया statement क्या है?
If 2 raised to K minus 1 is prime, then K is also prime.
Okay. Again, can you repeat one more time?
If 2 raised to k minus 1 is prime, then k is also a prime.
So it is which type of statement? P implies Q, right?
Yes, sir.
So P implies Q. Do you know what is contrapositive means? I want to show P implies Q. Sometimes that may be difficult. So I will prove by contrapositive. That means that equivalent statement. So instead of proving that statement, I will prove another statement which is equivalent to this. Okay, P implies Q contrapositive statement is negation of Q implies
P.
negation of P.
Yes.
Okay, what is the statement? Your statement? Can you repeat one more time?
So if 2 raised to k minus 1 is prime, then k is also prime.
What is the contrapositive of that statement?
If k is not a prime, then a raised to k minus 1 is also not a prime.
Very good, beautiful. Yeah. Now that we are proving. Actually, we want to show P implies Q, but what is that we are proving now? Negation of Q implies negation of P.
Negation of q.
So if you prove this one also, that is proved actually. These two are equivalent statement. Now I am not giving the proof for that. Is it okay for you?
Yes.
Yeah. So what is that now? What is that we are proving now? Can you tell me the statement now?
So if k is not a prime, then
Mm.
a raised to k minus 1 is also
2
not a
raised
prime.
2 power k minus.
So 2 raised to k minus 1 is not a
Right.
prime.
So where do start now?
So I will start if k is not a prime, then k is composite.
K is composite. So then what is now? How do you write k equal to?
So k is equal to mn.
Right.
Where,
Okay. Done.
where
Done.
m
Done. Tell me m value.
m is
like
greater than 1, and n is greater than 1.
that is okay. M is greater than 1, but less than k. Okay, that's
Yeah,
okay.
less than k.
Now, okay. So we are proving that if k is not a prime, then a 2 power k minus 1 is also not a prime. We need to prove. So we started with k is not a prime.
Yes.
Okay. Now that means k is equal to m into n. Okay, that is also fine. Now substitute here 2 power
mn minus 1.
now can I write 2 power mn as 2 power m whole power n?
Yes, sir.
Now 2 power m whole power n minus 1. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I take 2 power m as some x. Okay. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Now what is that we have?
So x power n minus 1, and that we can.
We want to show that is not a prime.
Yeah, yes, sir.
We want to show that is not a prime. Why this is not a prime? Can you tell now?
Because k is composite.
No, that we need to prove. If k is composite, we need to show this is not a prime. We need to show. We are not proved. We are proving now.
Yes.
We are proving step by step. So k is so we are assuming that k is not prime. K is not prime means k is equal to mn. So ho gaya. What is our claim now? 2 power m into n minus 1. That is not prime. We have to show, not yet proved. But to prove that one, I 2 power mn minus 1 मैंने लिख लिया 2 power m whole power n minus 1.
Yes.
But what is 2 power m? I took as x.
Yes.
x power n minus 1 अभी मेरे पास है.
Yes, sir.
उसको प्रूव करना है वो not a prime number. Why that is not a prime number? What is x value?
X is 2 power m, that is 2, 4. Because 1, it cannot be 1 because it is greater than 1. So m is greater than 1, so it cannot be 1. So it is 2.
No, don't worry. Don't go slowly. What is it we have? X power n minus 1.
X power.
Hello?
Yes, x power m minus 1, right?
X power n minus 1. n. I took, see, 2 power m into n minus 1. मेरे पास है.
Yes.
K equal to mn लिया. So 2 power mn minus 1. Okay. But 2 power mn, how I am writing?
2
2 power m.
whole power n.
whole power m. Okay.
Yes.
But what I took 2 power m I took as x.
X.
Now what is that you have final result?
So
X
I should-
power. What is that you have right now? See, I do not want to write, okay? I am again telling you 2 power k minus 1 मेरे पास है. K value m into n हुआ था.
Yes, sir.
2 power mn minus 1 मेरे पास है. So मैंने लिखा है 2 power mn को 2 power m whole power n. 2 power Mumbai whole power New York minus 1 लिखा है. So 2 power Mumbai now become x. मैंने x लिया. X power New York minus 1.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, good, very good. Now, so finally, what is that I have? X power n minus 1.
Yes.
How do you write x power n minus 1? Forget about everything. Now, x power n minus 1 equal to what is that you can write?
It is x minus 1 and
Something. These things,
x,
right?
X has to-
Now, is it a prime number?
No,
Why it is not a prime number? What is x now?
because x cannot be 1 क्योंकि
X
k
cannot
is-
be.
because
No,
n
x.
is greater than 1.
No. So, what is x actually?
X is 2
Oh,
raised to
oh,
n, 2 raised to n.
2 raised to power m. So now look at here a power now a वैल्यू कितना हो गया आपका इसी इक्वेशन आप देख लो आप ये नया इक्वेशन है इंस्टेड ऑफ k ओनली आई हैव n राइट
Yes.
बट a वैल्यू कितना है मींस x I told but what is a value 2 power m right
Yes, sir.
2 power m is how much what do you know about m
M is greater than 1.
so 2 power m is greater than 2
Yes, sir.
so but you already proved that it is prime only when a equal to 2
Yes.
बट अभी आप क्या है 2 power m आ गया वो इज दैट इज ग्रेटर देन 2
Yes, sir.
that is a contradiction
Okay, sir. Got it.
you got but a little bit still you need to so if you discuss this proof again with one of your student
Okay, sir.
okay
Okay, sir.
yeah so one of I request one of you volunteer and so listen to him okay later yeah so is it now clear to you this proof
Yes, sir. It is clear.
you have potential okay you don't worry you have potential only thing is that go slow and do not be confident a lot of improve you can improve okay good okay chalo next one go next theorem
So next is every even perfect number is a triangular number.
Hmm.
So first, what is a triangular number? So triangular number are found by the partial sum of the series, right? So that is if Tn is the 1 plus 2 plus dot n,
Hmm.
then what is Tn? Tn is n into n plus 1. So we can say a number is a triangular number that we can write as the form of n into n plus 1 by 2.
okay how can you prove that 1 plus 2 plus up to n is equal to n into n plus 1 by 2
That is the sum of the series, right?
no how to prove that 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus up to n is equal to n into n plus 1 by 2 how do you prove that
And this we can prove by
By?
induction method also. And,
is there any other method you are correct 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to plus n is equal to n into n plus 1 by 2
yes, sir.
okay no don't worry I'll tell you now okay
Yes, sir.
take s is equal to okay 1 plus 2 plus up to n right
Yes, sir.
okay now again s is equal to n plus n minus 1 plus n minus 2 plus and so on plus 2 plus 1 I reversed it
Okay, yes, okay.
do you agree
Yes, sir.
still sum will not change do you agree
Yes, sir.
I add this way or this way will not change right
Yes, sir.
yeah now add these two s plus s how much ho gaya
That is n plus 1. First term is n plus 1.
Very good. Yeah. Second term.
Also n plus 1.
Okay. Third term.
That is also n plus 1.
Last term. Last term.
N plus 1.
So n plus 1, n plus 1. How many terms are there?
There is n terms. N into n terms plus 1 plus n.
क्या हो
What
गया?
1 is so
अभी
1
तक आप अभी तक अच्छा ने अच्छा बताया लेकिन लास्ट में कुछ बता रहे. ओके, गो स्लो अगेन. हाँ.
n terms is n
Hmm.
and 1 is also n terms. So
No, don't. Why unnecessarily? What is s equal to? Again, हम शुरू करते हैं. S equal to what?
s is sum of 1 plus 2 plus up to n.
Okay.
And reverse is n plus n minus 1 up to 1.
But s equal to s में बोलना मत बोलना. S equal to again.
Okay.
पहला भी s equal to, अभी भी s equal to.
Yes.
सेम सम ना. हाँ. So now आपके पास दो इक्वेशन है. पहला इक्वेशन पे s is equal to 1 plus 2 plus up to n. सेकंड इक्वेशन क्या है? s equal to
n plus n minus 1 up to n.
and so on up to 1. Now we are adding. So s plus अब पहले ऐड करना है. s plus s कितना हो गया?
2s
equal to
n plus 1 up to this is total n terms.
So what is the answer? 2s equal to
2s equal to n into n plus 1.
s equal to
n plus n into n plus 1 by 2.
हो गया ना?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now go to this perfect number. Then what is that you want to say?
So n is a perfect number. And then n is equal to 2 raised to k minus 1 into 2 raised to k minus 1 is also we can write this n as 2 raised to k minus 1 into 2 raised to k minus 1. This will prove Meg. I will not prove this theorem.
Then you should not first she has to complete, then you have to tell. Okay, but again there is a mistake. Can you tell that mistake?
What n?
No. So Mehak, do you point out that mistake? He wrote let n be a perfect number, then n equal to. What is the mistake in that?
Sir, n will be in this form.
No. Let n be a perfect number, then n is equal to 2 power k minus 1 into 2 power k minus 1 लिखा है वो, right?
Yes, sir.
लेकिन एक गलत है. और कुछ ऐड करना है. Let n be a
Even perfect number.
even perfect number लिखना है.
Okay, sir.
Okay, see, because that you wrote earlier, that's okay. Every even perfect number is triangle number. पहले even लिखा है, समझता हूँ. क्योंकि yeah, that's okay. In the context it is okay, but that is very important because till now we don't know whether odd perfect numbers exist or not. But what is the proof then? What is the Mehak is going to prove? Can you tell me that? Do you know Mehak will prove? Don't worry, but you tell me the theorem. What is Mehak going to prove? That you have to tell clearly. Tell me that.
So Mehak will prove if n is a perfect number,
even perfect number,
then n we can write as 2 raised to k minus 1 into 2 raised to k minus 1, where 2 raised to k minus 1 is prime.
Okay, so that much only she will prove, or converse part also she will prove? You don't know that. But you need to know, even though you are not teaching, perfect numbers is your topic, you need to know everything. Okay, I told you that you divide the work, that's okay, but you need to understand that, because that is the one of the major result actually. Why I tell you? See, so for example, let us look at this 2 power k minus 1 into 2 power k minus 1, where 2 power k minus 1 is a prime.
Yes.
All of you think carefully. So Amya, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So 2 power k minus 1, 2 power k minus 1 into 2 power k minus 1. If I tell you here 2 power k minus 1 is prime, then can you prove that it is a perfect number? Firstly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So who proved that? Do you, any one of you know? Mehak, do you know that?
Is it Euler?
Not Euler, that's what. So 2 power k, I gave this number. Which number I gave? 2 power k minus 1 into 2 power k minus 1, where 2 power k minus 1 is prime. वो भी दिया है. Then what is that we need to prove?
N is a perfect number.
Yeah, so that proof who is done. That is easy. Why it is easy? Number दे दिया है, उसका फॉर्म दे दिया है, उसमें 2 power k minus 1 प्राइम वो भी दे दिया है. वो सभी यूज करके क्या प्रूव करना है? n is a perfect number. वो आसान है. What is the difficult one? If n is a perfect number, then it is exactly in this form. That is tough, right? Are you understand, Amya?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Euler proved the tough part. What is the tough part? If n is an even perfect number, then n has to be in this form proved by Euler. But if you give this n in this form, then it is a perfect number. Who proved it? But easy to prove also. But who proved it? That is proved by Euclid. You know how much difference between Euclid and Euler?
Yes, sir.
Euclid did 2500 years back. Why I'm telling that story? It is because up to in between, no one proved it. No one tried it at all. Converse part. So this is one of the very good example that Pm plus Qm plus Qm plus P are not. People are not checking. Euler checked it and proved it. So it is if and only condition only. Okay. Okay, fine. So we need to prove both sides, but one side is easy. Other side we need to prove, that is given by Euler. Okay. Fine. Now it is easy then. Okay. So 2 power k minus 1 you took as a p. Then automatically that is p plus 1. So by 2. So that is quite obvious now, right? So triangular number. Yeah. Okay. Next one.
Final, sir. Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. So Mehak, you start now today. You continue in the next class. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Just you start a little bit. Yeah. So you can maybe prove something, one direction of this proof, this theorem. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. You can unshare. So. Suresh, if I made you anything, please excuse me.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, no. So what I'm saying, please excuse me if I made you, before all of you, I'm asking all these questions. If you get embraced, I'm sorry. But
No,
we
sir.
should, no, we should not think like that, okay? They are all our friends. Don't you?
Sir, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, yes.
So the topic was search for the perfect number. So basically we have seen what is the perfect number. So positive integer n is said to be a perfect if n is equals to the sum of all its positive divisor excluding n itself. So we have saw that 6 is a perfect number. The positive divisors of 6 is 1, 2 and 3. So 6 is a perfect number and 28 is a perfect number. And we have saw that a positive integer n is said to be perfect if sigma of n equals to 2n. So this is some of the result which we need to know before starting the proofs. So sigma of n is the sum of the positive divisors of n. If let my n is equals to p raised to k1, p1 raised to k1, p2 raised to k2, and pr raised to kr be a prime factorization for n greater than equals to 2 into distinct primes, then my sigma n can be written in this form. And if my GCD of mn equals to 1, then sigma of mn can be written as sigma of n into sigma of n, where m and n are positive integer. This was done by Suresh. And the lemma which we have done, if n divides n, then sigma of n by n is less than equals to sigma of capital N by n, where equality holds if n equals to n. So we need this results in future. So we will start with the theorem. This theorem was given by Euclid. So let k is greater than equals to 2 be a positive integer such that 2 raised to k minus 1 is a prime number. So before starting with proof, we will check that we will check with some examples. So consider my k equals to 2. That is 4 minus 1, 3. It is a prime, and my n will be 2 raised to 1, and that is 2, and 1, which was 3, 3, and yes, it's a perfect number. Considering for k equals to 3, so what I have is
Mehak, your voice is breaking. Mehak, your voice is
Hello, sir.
breaking. So your voice is breaking. So goes little slow, so that even it breaks, if people can understand.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So for example, can you start from the beginning, the proof part? Can you start from the beginning?
You need to start from starting.
From the proof only. Statement is clear. Statement is
So,
clear.
yeah. Okay, sir, I was just explaining by an example that
Okay.
if k is greater than, so yeah. So if my k equals to 2, so it will be 4 minus 1, which is 3, and it is a prime number. So my n will be 2 raised to 1 into 2 raised to 2 minus 1, which is 2 into 3, which is 6, and it is a perfect number. Similarly, if I take k equals to 3, so 2 raised to 3 minus 1, it is 8 minus 1, 7. It is a prime number. And my n equals to 2 raised to k minus 1, which is 2 raised to 2, 4 into 7, which is 28, and it is also a perfect number. So now we start with the proof. So given is k is greater than equals to 2, it is a positive integer, and 2 raised to k minus 1 is a prime number. We need to prove that my n is of this form, 2 raised to k minus 1 into 2 raised to k minus 1. It is a perfect number. So now what I consider is my 2 raised to k minus 1. This part I consider it as p. I call it as p. So p is equals to 2 raised to k minus 1, and I know that this p is a prime number. Now my n, so what will my n look like? So n will look like 2 raised to k minus 1 into this 2 raised to k minus 1. I can substitute over here n. So I'm getting n equals to 2 raised to k minus 1 into p. Now we know that we can see, okay. So what we can see that the GCD of 2 raised to k minus 1 in comma p is 1. Basically 2 raised to p is my prime number. So its positive divisors will be 1 and p. So the GCD is equals to 1. Now I need to find the sum of the positive divisors of n. So sigma of n equals to sigma of 2 raised to k minus 1 into p. So I can write it as sigma of 2 raised to k minus 1 into sigma of p, where this is by the sigma of mn equals to sigma of m into n if my GCD is equals to 1. The result which we have seen earlier.
Yes,
So
yes, very good.
So
yeah, proceed.
So now we just apply that formula which we have seen earlier, 2 raised to k minus 1 upon 2 minus 1 into p square minus 1 upon p minus 1. So solving this part, I get sigma of n equals to 2 raised to k minus 1 into p plus 1. Now we have considered that my p equals to 2 raised to k minus 1. So I just substituted in this equation, and I get sigma of n equals to 2 raised to k minus 1 into 2 raised to k.
Right.
So what I got it is sigma of n. Okay. So now I want to prove that my n is a perfect number. So what I need to prove that sigma of n equals to 2 times n. And what I got it as something like this. And we know that my n is of this form. So what I'll do is I'll just write 2 raised to k as 2 into 2 raised to k minus 1.
Yes.
So so this part is my n part. So this is 2 into n, and hence I got my n is a perfect number.
Very good.
So should I start with second part as well?
A little bit you can explain, and we'll stop after 5 minutes. Even proof is not completed. Yes.
Okay, sir. So I will prove this theorem by I will give the two proof of this theorem. One is given by Euclid and the second one is given by Cohen. It's just it's just similar to each another, but Cohen has used one of the lemma which we have learned. We will see that also. So the theorem is, if n is my even perfect number and n is of the form 2 raised to k minus 1 into 2 raised to k minus 1, then 2 raised to k minus 1 is a prime number when my k is greater than or equals to 2. So n is an even perfect number, and I need to prove that n is of the form 2 raised to k minus 1 into 2 raised to k minus 1 and 2 raised to k minus 1 is a prime. So now I assume that my n is an even perfect number. So I can write my n in the form of 2 raised to k minus 1 into m, where 2 raised to k minus 1, we know that any power of 2, it will be even, and I am considering my m as an odd number. So, okay. So can anyone tell me what will be the GCD of 2 raised to k minus 1 and m? Two raised to k minus 1 is my even number and m is my odd number. Yes, it will be 1. So, similarly, applying the formula sigma of mn is equals to sigma of m into sigma of n, where my GCD is equals to 1. So this is sigma of 2 raised to k minus 1 into sigma of m. Then applying the formula.
What? 1 minute. 1 minute. Actually, so we need to have a track also. What is it we need to prove? Somebody can tell us?
In this setup, we have to prove that m is 2 power k minus 1 and m is prime.
We need to prove that m is equal to 2 power k minus 1, and that is also m is also prime. Then only proof is over. Very good. Nice. So now entire goal now is that on m now. Yeah, we need to find m. Yeah. So keep that in your mind while proving it. Yeah. Go ahead, Mehak. Thanks.
Yes. So by applying the formula, we get my sigma of n equals to 2 raised to k minus 1 into sigma of m. When we don't know what is my sigma of m, and we just know that sigma of m is a positive, it is a positive integer, since sigma of m is the positive divisors of m. So it is a positive number. We just know this thing about sigma of n. Now my n is an even perfect number. I have assumed that, so sigma of n equals to 2n. So,
Right.
so I can write my sigma of n as, okay. So I'm just writing this n, which is 2 raised to k minus 1 into m over here. 2 raised to k minus 1 into m. So I get 2 raised to k into m. So now we can see that from here sigma of n equals to 2 raised to k minus 1 into sigma of m, and here I get sigma of n equals to 2 raised to k into m. So just equating equation 2 and 3, what I get it as 2 raised to k into m, which is this part, is equals to 2 raised to k minus 1 into sigma of m. And we know that this sigma of m is a positive integers. Okay. So we can say that 2 raised to k minus 1 divides 2 raised to k into m. Okay. So now we know that GCD of 2 raised to k minus 1 and 2 raised to k will equals to 1, because 2 raised to k is an even number and 2 raised to k minus 1 is an odd number. So we will use over here one lemma. Can anyone tell me that if A divides BC and GCD of A and B equals to 1, then?
Mehak, 1 minute.
Yes,
You understand, but odd number can divide even number also. Okay, 3 divides 6, right? Yeah,
yes,
that's okay. But what is it? You need to say that 2 power k minus 1, comma 2 power k GCD 1, because 2 power k only prime factors of 2 power k are 2. That's the reason. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So over here we will use one lemma. So can anyone tell me what will be it? We have used it earlier. If A divides B and C and GCD of A and B equals to 1, then
A divides C.
yes, then A divides C. So yes. So what I get is 2 raised to k minus 1 divides my m. So we can say that now there exists some capital M which belongs to an integer such that my small m equals to 2 raised to k minus 1 into capital M. And I'm just substituting these values of m in my equation 4. Over here, I'm just substituting the value of my small m. So if I do that, I'll get 2 raised to k into capital M equals to sigma of m. Now sigma of m equals to 2 raised to k into m. So I am just modifying it by writing -1 plus 1. It won't change my equation. I'm just writing. So 2 raised to k minus 1 plus 1. So I can write it in the form like 2 raised to k minus 1 into capital M plus capital M. And we know that 2 raised to k minus 1 is my m. So this is m plus m I got. So this implies that my m has only two positive divisors, and we know that
here only little faster, Gyata. So
where
why 2 power k minus 1 into capital M is equal to small m?
okay, sir. So over here m. From this equation, I get my small m is equals to 2 raised to k minus 1 into capital M. So I'm just substituting the values of this over here. So I get this the m small m plus capital M. So
now that's okay. Now this is done. So now ask questions and then we stop here. Sigma of m is equal to m plus small m plus capital M. What you can say about sigma now m regarding m?
okay, so now what can you say about m? It just have two positive divisors.
Capital M has to be 1.
Yeah, and my small m should be prime, because prime number has only two positive divisors, which is 1 and the number itself. This means that my m is a prime number and capital M should equals to 1. And just substituting the values of m over here, capital M values over here, which is 1, I will get my small m is equals to 2 raised to k minus 1. So what I got it as small m, which is 2 raised to k minus 1, is a prime number. Now I need.
What is that? Still you need to prove.
N is of the form 2k minus 1 into 2k minus 1.
No, m you already. Yeah, that's okay. M only you need to prove. You already done it, right? Yeah, done. Okay. So this proves the side also, Euler proof also you done. We'll stop here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so I request Amiya and Suresh, if possible, you can send the notes to me. I'll upload. Okay, if you are okay with it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll stop today. If you have any questions, you can ask. So, can you stop recording, Kathy? You cannot do. I will.
Yes, sir.
I will make you co-host. You cannot do now. Yes, you can do now. Hello, Kathy.
Yes, sir. 1 second.
Remaining people can leave actually. Time is also, you have